to the Simply Talking Podcast, where we keep it real and raw, diving deep into the stories that matter. Whether it's the hustle, the grind, or just living life in the fast lane, we're here to vibe with you. So if you're ready to get inspired and have some fun, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video coming up right now.
Are you saying this about black women to try to change the hood rats, or you just don't like black women? Because you know it's bad white women and all types of women out there, but you usually go on to black women.
Well, look, this is why I go in on black women. One, because I grew up with them. Two, because I date them. Three, because now I'm raising them. So if I'm raising them, I know that I'm going to put out little black girls, not little white girls. So why would I talk about what white girls do when I know my daughter is not going to be doing what the white girls do? They're going to have a very small influence on her. You know who is going to have a huge one? Black girls. You know what I see with black girl culture? Disgusting culture. Culture that as a father, I don't want to pass to my child. But I also know I can't stop it. Now, I started doing this when I knew I cared enough about my kid that the bitches I was fucking, I didn't want them to multiply. You didn't want a bunch of that shit out there. And I started seeing that the best I could get was hoes. And I didn't want my daughter to be that. I didn't want my daughter to be treating niggas like I had been treated by some hoes. I thought that I and other black men that realized there's a problem could, when, if nothing else, we might not have been able to save ourselves. That's why I always said, I can't save myself. I'm too old for that. But I can save the next generation. And one of the ways I can do it would be to try and put a bug in the boys' ears and say, y'all don't have to deal with this. I dealt with it. Your daddy dealt with it. Maybe your granddaddy dealt with it. But you don't have to. The world is telling you this is the best you can get. I'm going to say no. If men start voting with their dicks and their wallets, these women would have no choice but to move. You have to remember, most of the things that women have, like Myron was talking about, their education and stuff, most of the things that women have, they still couldn't feed themselves without men. They need men to buy they damn OnlyFans, to follow them on Twitter, to watch them say nothing. Because y'all niggas will sit up here and swear y'all love me, but I'll watch a bitch that don't do nothing but shake her titties every morning, have 400,000 fucking subscribers. Now, who the fuck do y'all really like? That's the type of stuff that I was discussing. So when y'all say white women do bad, well, most of you niggas don't have a shot with white women. White women ain't out here just fucking us like black women are out fucking their men. They men have all they men know what it's like to have black pussy. Many of y'all black men don't know what it's like to fuck a 10 that's a black woman, much less a random white woman. To fuck a 8 that's a black woman. Because all of them, like Myron said, they fucking the same guys. The same athlete can fuck 99,000 of them, and they don't mind being 99,001. So when you're asking me why I'm not going at white women for doing whatever it is they do, well, let me explain this to you. White women don't have the same problem with they're out here calling themselves bro, when they're calling a man bro, when they out here saying that y'all niggas got little dicks. Think about it. White women talk about little dicks less often than black women do. But we claim white men got little dicks. Asian women bring up little dicks less often than black women do. And everybody know Asian niggas got little dicks. Everyone knows this. So why ain't Asian women walking around talking about they tired of little dick niggas? Little dick Asians. Our women sit around and disrespect us. White women ain't got to worry about having a family. They're not at the bottom of the totem pole of getting married. Black women are. White women don't have to worry about getting a foot cut off like your grandmama and them keep getting her foot cut off because of diabetes. You got to worry about that. White women ain't got to worry about keeping your kid from the daddy. We got to worry about that. So why would I talk about white women, sir? And I'll go throw it back to you. With all the stats that show black women are at the bottom. So even if white women do it, why would I want my team to be at the bottom? I'm a San Francisco 49er fan. I hate this year. Do you know why? Because we're at the bottom of the NFC West. Don't tell me that the Bears got a worse record. Why do I want to hear about the Bears record? That's not my team.
So let me ask you this: Do like people around you, like your family, do they get mad at the way you talk about black women? You know, like your mom or your daughter or wife or something like that. Do they?
Yeah,
Like,
yes, people get mad because they will say you shouldn't say that. My mom said you shouldn't talk about single mothers. I was a single mother, and I think I did a good job. I said, well, I can run down everything you did wrong if you like. You don't think I got this shit from nowhere? You think I just pulled this shit out of thin air? Or you don't think I woke up seeing it? So I had to have that conversation with him. Y'all know what the fuck the ratchet shit y'all were doing? Y'all just wanted us, the kids, to act like y'all didn't do it. Bitches in the house knife fighting. I had to see that. Niggas getting shot. I saw this. People fucking in the house. Me walking in on it. I saw this. Yet I, a child, and many of y'all others who are watching right now, y'all know I'm telling the truth. We the ones that had to hide that shit from what the adults were doing. The adults was smoking crack. The adults was fucking in front of the kids. The adults were fucking the kids. We had to sit up there and act like it didn't exist. We got to go around other people and tell everybody that our families is great. We can't talk about the physical abuse that went on in the house. We can't talk about we never saw a child support check because mama was spending it on all kind of shit. We can't talk about the fact that when I say niggas had light bills and gas bills in their name before they was even 16, almost every black kid understand what I'm talking about. You don't think that's fucked up, man? That a black comedian can get up and talk about mama doing the most fucked up shit. And people say, I know what you're talking about. I don't know if you know anything about E40. E40 has in the song where he said his mama used to beat him with racing car tracks. Next line, but now I got wealth. I done put this woman in a mansion. Same chick. Tupac. Even though you was a crack fiend mama, you always was a black queen mama. Richard Pryor had to watch his mom look up the story of Richard Pryor. His mother was an actual prostitute. Look at Black China. She left one child to go make another child with a white man, then left that child with the white man. Then finally she brought up her generational curse, which was her mother, who wasn't shit. And her mother said, I don't care if you saw me fuck the whole Roman legion. You're still supposed to show me respect. Now, sir, how can a black community or any community thrive when a person holds no accountability for what they do? And you name another group that's like black women in that aspect. I would love to talk to a lot of brothers. I am a person that loves to talk. I'm very gregarious. I think that's the word. I am that. I like to speak to people, especially like you see how you asked me that question and I gave you a very in-depth answer. I rarely get a chance to talk to people because they rarely just ask me and let me answer it. They'd rather do things like name call and fuck shit like that. And me, give me an opportunity to answer your question. I promise you I'll answer it. And I will answer whatever it is that you're thinking about or wondering, because I think I stand on facts and I stand on logic. I won't say it if I don't believe it and if I don't have something to back it up. So to answer that question, whenever they would tell me I could debate him, I would debate him. I thought what he was saying was bullshit. That whole black woman is God. That was some sick, stupid shit. And it proved that I was right. Look at what happened. And I don't wish evil on nobody, but that was some fucked up shit.
What about a debate with you and Umar? You know,
I've been trying to debate Umar. He won't do it. Umar was supposed to actually be in my movie, and they kept telling him, "Why you gonna be in that Coon movie, Fatherless America 1?" He was supposed to be in it. Then he backed out because Tariq Nasheed talked him into backing out. Tariq Nasheed went to a lot of the talent that had already agreed to be in my movie, and got them to back out. That's how dirty he is.
I thought y'all was cool now. I thought y'all made up.
That was 2016, 15, 14, and 13.
I got you.
I'm still not cool with him. If you watch him when he do his show, he'll let a fag up there before he let me up there. He let that dude that's a woman come on his show all the damn time. When I hit his link, you don't let me come up there and talk. I done hit his link several damn times.
The reality is, black women are just at the bottom of the totem pole. We're going to talk about dating statistics, right? There's a lot of bad stereotypes that tend to be true. They're 187 pounds on average. Attitude, you look at the service industry, they're almost always not looked for whenever you're trying to look for someone to be a service representative helping you out. And the other way around, when you pull servers, the least weighted table that they want to deal with a lot of the times is with black people, and namely black women. So they're just, they don't wear their real hair. You mentioned before about the blonde hair, the obesity, like I mentioned before. There's just there's a bunch of bad stereotypes that tend to be fairly factual. And, typically when you find men that are of higher sexual market value, they date outside their race because they can, versus women, black women can't. It's very difficult for them to date outside their race. White men don't want them. Black, Hispanic men don't want them. And this is all stats. This isn't my opinion. This is literally, you look at dating sites, black women are polled almost always. There's obviously exceptions. I do want to say that there's always exceptions, but the majority are not desired by the majority of other men.
And when you bring up numbers and statistics, I got told things like, well, did your mother do this? Is your daughter that way? Is your sister that way? And as you said, of course, these statistics don't mean all, but it seems like you have to argue the margins a lot with black women, the exceptions, like the exceptions of they'll claim white women get their lips done to look like black women, or they tan to look like black women. Meanwhile, black women will say, we're not getting blonde hair, blue eyes to be like white women. We're doing it to be like this small tribe in Madagascar.
Yeah, I think I don't think it's just exclusive to black women. I think it's with honestly all women. It's a very dark reality after interviewing damn near 3,500 women on the show. What I've realized is that most women prefer a pleasurable lie over an ugly truth. And this is why so many women in general are not big proponents on self-improvement. You know what I mean? You look at someone like Oprah or Dr. Oz, you watch these stupid ass daytime talk shows. Very rarely do they hold women accountable and tell them what they need to do better. They lie to them, tell them they're special, they deserve the world, etc. And that's kind of how we've ended up with the society we have now, where we have a bunch of unmarriageable, obese, rude, rambunctious, stupid women that, quite frankly, are not wife material. It's because we don't tell them the truth. Men no longer have the balls to tell the women the truth. It used to be you would have a strong father that would tell his daughter, hey, this is the way men think. This is what you need to do to make yourself more attractive, or hopefully a brother. But since we don't have the fathers in the household and we don't have strong brothers that tell their daughters or sisters, hey, this is what you need to do, women are fucking running around like chickens with their heads cut off. You take the modern woman and you ask her, what do men want? You know what she's going to say? She's going to tell you what she wants. Oh, I want a six-figure earner. I want a guy that's attractive. I want a guy that does X, Y, Z. And then you say, okay, what do you think that man wants in return? And she will literally have no clue. She will go and say, oh, he wants someone that's smart, that makes a bunch of money too, blah, blah. And it's like, no, you dumb bitch. That's what you want. But this is how disconnected women are, right? Because we don't tell them the truth. And this has been going on since the fucking 60s, because guys are more interested in, getting laid than telling women the truth and trying to find a wife out of it. And we've been lying to them for the better part of 6 decades. And that's where that's why we're where we're at now, where marriage is down the toilet, nuclear families are damn near non-existent, and most women, I would argue, are unmarriageable or not worthy of being married in the first place. It's because we've been lying to them for too goddamn long. Feminism is the root cause of a lot of the issues that plague society, right? We all know that the nuclear family is absolutely the backbone of any thriving society. The United States thrived in the 40s and 50s under nuclear families, and nuclear families have been destroyed thanks to feminism. Well, what props up feminism? I'll tell you what props up feminism, and a lot of women aren't going to like to hear this, but it's fucking higher education, education in general props up feminism, because when women get educated, they go ahead and decide to go to college. When they go to college, they think I can get a job. When they get a job, they say I don't need a man. When they say I don't need a man, they don't need a family. When they don't need a family, they don't need children. And that's how we end up with the problems that we have now. It's interesting how every single society since the beginning of time has done things to curb female sexuality. And I think the reason why they've done that is because, unfortunately, when you give women the ultimate ability to make their own sexual decisions and pick who they want, well, who do they always pick? They pick the bad boys. They pick the commitment foes. They pick the guys that have these bad these dark triad traits that typically aren't necessarily good for long-term relationships. So since women's sexuality a lot of the times is contingent upon their emotional stimuli can be played by a guy that's literally a player or exhibits certain traits. This is why arranged marriages has been a thing forever, because when your father comes in, he's able to see the man and be like, okay, this guy's not a good provider. I'm not giving you to my fucking daughter. Fuck that shit. I know what type of time you're on. And he protects her from herself, right? Or a brother. But if you leave women to their own devices, they almost always pick the bad guys. That's why these stupid bitches get on TikTok crying, oh my God, I can't find a fucking boyfriend. 30 years old, 35 years old, hell, even in their 20s. They're getting ran through because they don't understand, right? That, quite frankly, and the other problem too is we have a society that promotes women to be promiscuous in their 20s. We teach women to be promiscuous in their 20s, have their fun, then go ahead and find a man later on in life when they're used, abused, and fucking destroyed, and no longer, a lot of the times, able to even pair bond with a fucking guy. A lot of these girls, they'll go through college, they'll rack up 50 bodies easily, right? They're in a sorority, they party, oh yeah, woo, this is great. And then next thing you know, they're not able to hold a real relationship. That's why the divorce rates are so fucking high, because these women always think that there's something better, right? So the fact that we've done everything in our power as a society, right, to contain female sexuality all across the world, across different cultures, different religions, different continents, different countries, that is a testament to the destruction of female sexuality and how it could create long-term problems for society. And we're seeing that now. We're seeing that right now, right? In modern society, where female sexuality is open, it's rampant, it's allowed, and what the fuck has come with it? Well, we see that fucking the birth rates are low. We see the prevalence of STDs and HIV and AIDS, and we see children being born out of wedlock. We see abortion. We have the nuclear family has been absolutely wiped out the fucking map. We see families being destroyed thanks to divorce. So open female sexuality clearly doesn't fucking work, right? Now, are we going to be able to go backwards? No, it's not, because we gave them the right, so we're not going to be able to take it. As much as I make jokes and I say we need to repeal the 19th Amendment, women should have the right to vote, it's never going to fucking happen because we gave it to them. So we're not going to go backwards. So I would argue, if anything, it's going to get worse and worse, because now we've created this deregulated sexual marketplace where the women, right, are in 1000% control of who they pick. And what feminism doesn't know, they inadvertently did, right? This is the dirty little secret that most people don't notice. Feminism inadvertently actually gave all the power to the top 5% of men. Why? Because since the sexual revolution and women could pick the man that they want, what ends up happening now is the guys at the top fuck all the girls. And if they could fuck all the girls, they're going to commit? More than likely, no. But this is what happens. They fuck a bunch of these women, and then these women, since they're retarded, they can their sexual market value with their relationship market value. Oh, I fucked the top guy. I should be able to get a relationship with said guy. This is how you end up with women that are fucking linebackers, as Kevin Samuels would famously talk to, right? Saying that I'm 10 and I deserve a man that makes $300,000, $500,000 a year and good looking, etc. Why? Because they might have been on a date with one of these men. They might have had sex with one of these men. Hell, they might have even talked to one of them on Instagram. But the point is this: women have a very bad fucking habit of thinking the men that are options sexually are also the same men that are options relationship wise. And this is simply not the case. So I'll land my plane here saying this: the ability, and this is feminism, right? Feminism has allowed the deregulation of the sexual marketplace, which has in turn put women in the driver's seat to forage and find their own men But what it's also done is it's inadvertently put the top tier guys at the top of the fucking totem pole while simultaneously ostracizing a majority of men as unsuitable mates for a majority of women. When in reality, a majority of women don't even really qualify for a majority of men for a long-term relationship, but they think that they deserve more. And that's the issue that we have now, where we see the marriage rates plummeting, the divorce rates skyrocketing, and a bunch of women that are fucking delusional. That's the cold hard truth.
Well, yeah, once they boil it down to if they can sleep with said guy, said athlete, said football player, then they now think they're better than you. Because the football player put his penis in them, they now think they're better than you. Football player didn't marry them. Football player didn't take them out on dates. Football player didn't claim them. But his dick is more important than yours. His dick got him shaking. Yours don't. They sit there and look at this and judge you off of it. So no matter what it is that you do, you're less than them because they got that attention, because they don't see anything past these people want to fuck me. Why do you think that these women walk outside now basically naked?
Yeah, man, I fuck with y'all, what y'all doing, man. I just think it's an uphill battle for real, for real. When we got all these niggas that just came on, uh, niggas ain't really ready for this conversation, just like the women aren't. So I think we need everybody. We need everyone who agrees in here. I think we all need to put a word out for this shit. Like our community depends on this shit. You know, and
Well,
and
how
y'all
can
are right
we do
on.
that when Dr. Umar Johnson exists and he's telling these women they're queens just because they're black? How do you then defeat that when he's doing the same thing that the people who are trying to tell him to do different are? Dr. Umar is offering them dick, and once you offer a black woman dick, she thinks she's pretty because somebody's trying to fuck her, and don't fuck her with no condom because then she thinks she's the best thing ever because this nigga was willing
Of
to
course.
risk his life over this pussy.
Right. I think have to
just
come
like
back. Like that's the shit we have to push. I mean, you can argue with niggas all day, but niggas just like the bitches, bro. They're never gonna get it. They was raised by the same bitches you be talking about. Like I just saw a post earlier. Women do this all the time, but they like to ask us, "Who raised y'all? Who raised y'all?" And it blows my mind almost every time. You know what I'm saying? It blows my mind. All of us were raised by a black woman, and the denial and shock. That kind of I had to go through. I had to look at. Because we haven't had these podcasts or these. For a long time. I started with Kevin Samuels, rest in peace. But um, I thought niggas was the problem. I thought we was the problem. I think we need to do better too in controlling the situation. But it's like, what can a nigga do? Like, what can a nigga do when all these bitches is super educated? They think they smarter than you. You know what I'm saying? They think they're better than you. You know what I'm saying? Not just because they got fucked by 20 niggas who but they go to school. You know what I'm saying? The governments made it easier for them to thrive, and they kind of held us back in a way. They've been held black men back, but it's like,
I knew it was going to be a problem when the women started doing things like this. When they would say, we're more educated than the black man, and they would say it like they're looking down their nose. When I heard that, I realized, wait a minute, we're not partners anymore. Because your woman is not going to tell some other man that you ain't shit unless she's trying to leave you. True or false?
true. One foot out the door.
And
That's
black
how
women
it be. You
started
got to put
telling,
up with it.
and black women were on television in the 70s, 80s, and 90s telling white men that they were with men who wasn't shit, that they were with men they didn't respect, that they were with men who they felt were not on their level. And anytime a woman feels like you are not on her level, you have lost that woman, and I don't think you will ever get her back. I don't think a woman who saw you as less than will ever see you as anything more than maybe equal, but she will never look at you as her king, as her forever mate, as her all in all.
That's a wrap for today's episode of the Simply Talking podcast. We hope you enjoyed the ride and soaked up some real talk. If you loved what you heard, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to keep the vibes going. Stay tuned for more dope conversations, and remember, keep it real out there. Until next time, peace.